During our investigation, we found that Clop had likely been developing this ODay exploit since at least July of 2021, 2 years ahead of their mass exploit campaign. That's quite a thing to think about, really. So let's put that into perspective with some of the other attacks that they were performing over the years prior. So in December 2020, bearing in mind this is after a number of members of the Clop gang had been arrested, Clop chose to exploit Accellion to exfiltrate data and extort victims. And those postings affected dozens of organizations, and those postings on their dark web blog continued into 2021. In July of 2021, we saw from looking at the data we'd collected from our MOVEIt investigation that Clop were likely developing or starting to develop an exploit for MOVEIt, at least showing very careful attention to MOVEIt applications. Nevertheless, soon after this, in 2021, in September, Clop attacked SolarWinds Serv-U instances using a vulnerability that was published in July of that year. So, a few month lag in terms of the exploit development there, but nevertheless very, very quick to change tactics and move on that potentially very lucrative vulnerability that they saw, and then yes, of course, use that in a successful campaign throughout September. In 2022, we observe a lull in Clop campaigns, but nevertheless found more evidence that year there were more attempts to exploit MOVEIt. More testing was ongoing. One of the reasons there could be a significant lull in that time is that they're just spending the money that they'd made on the years previous. And then we get to 2023, which is a very active year for the group. Between January and February, the group were exploiting a vulnerability in Fortress GoAnywhere MFT. Following that, in April, Microsoft linked the group to attacks on papercut instances. It's worth noting in both of these cases, Clop weren't the only group exploiting those vulnerabilities, but they did impact a number of organizations. And then in May of 2023, the automated activity begins targeting MOVEIt servers. That campaign of activity took place over the Memorial Day weekend, and then, as we discussed in June, Clop started to post victims to their dark web blog.